I was saying anything today, but maybe today. I need to talk on my notes. Seen my listen. Warm up. Hey, Bubba. Yeah. Forgot trash can. Or trash bag.
I'm stuck. Unless I kill this thing. And there's nowhere to run in here. Nowhere to like go around. To let him disappear and take a couple of shots.
Here you go, buddy. Flying. Look at him. He got himself all turned upside down. Buddy, look, he just put his hand in here and realized it, and he started cleaning it off.
Ew.
Every day he just asks me to look for mail. I need to tell him to stop getting fucking mail. babe, that's a lot of food. You hear me? Okay. No. Slim, this is not for you, dude. Mm-mm. Hey, babe. It's a lot of food in there, huh?
It's a lot of what?
Food for Slim?
Yeah, a little bit. I didn't mean to pour that much,
I
but
do it too. That's all I do. I love you.
I love you too, baby. My sweetheart. I'm just focused, sorry.
You're fine. Slim! Mm-mm. I just watched you put your hand in your own shit and clean it off.
Fucking double teaming shitheads. Y'all couldn't beat me without double teaming me.
Hey, now. Shut up.
I ain't no rat.
Babe, shut the door.
Ain't no rat.
Shut the door. You don't talk to me, please. Shut the door.
Fucking double team.
Hey,
I'm gonna close the door if I can't fucking speak.
I said shut the door. You don't. There you go.
You're the one that
Now
leaves
you
it
look away.
open.
Now you look
I close it and you'll open it.
Sorry. Proceed. Touch him out.
Fucking shitheads, man. Double teaming motherfuckers like that.
Touch him up.
I fucked one of them up. I killed one. Any kid.
I thought y'all were playing together.
No, I'm playing solo. Solo's dirty. It's nasty. It's nasty business. You got better odds when there's two of you. I killed 3 the last round and got out. That's why I don't like going there. Going to fucking that map.
This is part of an ongoing investigation.
Alleging criminal misconduct on the part of Michael Jackson. This is Mr. Jackson's training area. Sheriff's Department. Whose office is this?
This is his office.
This is Michael's. Are there any secret rooms?
Secret rooms.
Yeah, behind a wall or something like that, or anything like that? No, only behind a door. No, hidden doors or anything like that?
The phone rings. And he says, Brian, the police are raiding Neverland Ranch. What are they doing there, Mr. Jackson? I don't know. I don't know. He says, get your leads, find out. Wow. Okay. There could be something in here.
Okay.
Somebody needs to go through it.
Hey, Jeff, we have it upstairs.
warrant indicates that there is an accusation by a 12-year-old boy who says that he was molested. It appears that they think there's some kind of forensic evidence which would be available to them, which would include DNA, hair samples, blood samples. We don't know.
We don't know the identity of the child. We don't know the specifics of the accusations.
When you're investigating an allegation of child sexual abuse, you rarely have witnesses to it. We're looking for anything that we can find that tell us that this child is giving us accurate information.
He's the most famous man in the world who's being accused of the most heinous crime in the world.
An arrest warrant for Mr. Jackson has been issued on multiple counts of child molestation.
Finally, we're going to get some answers. Is he guilty or is he not guilty?
I met Michael Jackson in 1970. He was 12, I was 14, and we became friends.
Attention. I love Michael.
You love Michael? As a musician, you can see the genius of Michael Jackson.
On stage since the age of 5.
Michael Jackson is a superstar.
The outstanding example you set for the youth.
He's still #1 after 57 weeks in the charts.
Thriller is still to this day the biggest selling record of all time.
His album Thriller, the winner of 7 Grammy Awards, was still selling 1 million copies a year 15 years after its release.
Without exaggeration, I think Michael was the most famous person in the world. All the amazing talent. But then, you begin to see the changes in him.
I mean, let's face it, he's a little weird. He's just a little weird.
Yes, he is. Or was.
With all the wacko jacko stuff, which was horrible. What's with the hyperbaric chamber? What's with the plastic surgery? And Michael, he felt like he was lonely and isolated, but he was determined to live his life his way. Michael became friends with all these kids. He didn't think it was strange, but other people did.
A 13-year-old boy alleges a sexual relationship with Michael Jackson.
The idea of Michael Jackson being a pedophile was like mind-blowing. It was the most far-fetched, ridiculous thing you could have imagined.
The pop star angrily rejected accusations he molested a young boy and lashed out at police and the media.
There have been many disgusting statements made recently concerning allegations of improper conduct on my part. These statements about me are totally false.
After
So-
all these terrible
Do what?
allegations about Michael, he had a hard time, not just
Do what?
artistically,
Nothing,
but
I'm-
personally,
Okay.
too. That's all the hell that it had inflicted on him. He was so traumatized by that time. He needed like a reset where he could actually tackle
Here comes
some of
somebody.
his issues and his image in the public eye.
The first time I met Michael in London, June 2002, his face is very heavily made up. His hair's kind of messy. He looks as though he hasn't slept for very long. And it had been some years since he was the king of pop. And yet, there's nobody comparable to the size and magnitude of Michael Jackson. The other thing that obviously caused an enormous amount of interest were the scandals that surrounded him and allegations of child sexual abuse some years previously. I said, I'd love to make a film with you if you were interested. He said, okay, come and see me in California.
Talking about it with Michael, I came to
Ratting at its finest.
Michael was interested in Mark Bashir was because of his interview with Princess Diana, who was somebody that Michael really kind of idolized. He wanted to be portrayed in a more human way by the guy who did it for Princess Diana. But Michael didn't do enough research. Because if he had done it, he would have realized that the Martin Bashir Princess Diana interview was kind of a disaster.
Babe, that telehelping's good, right?
Huh?
The telehelping in the living room?
Well, there were 3 of us
Yeah.
in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded.
That was the interview in which she talked about 3 in a marriage, and it really set her at odds with the royal family. It was a public relations disaster. But Michael didn't follow the story all the way to that. He just stopped at the point where he wanted to do it because Princess Diana did it. Michael trusted Martin Bashir, and then Martin Bashir, he was looking for a great story. And Michael sort of handed him this opportunity on a silver platter. We didn't think that Neverland was going to be the place where this whole thing unraveled.
One of the headlines is Peter Pan or Herbert.
It was extraordinary. There's this Ferris wheel, a massive fairground. And then I rode towards the zoo, and I can remember seeing elephants,
Got him.
giraffe, and a bear. I made it clear that I wanted to understand his life. I thought he had a strange relationship with children. There had been allegations before, there had been settlements. Do you come out here on your own?
Yeah,
How often?
all the time.
Just come out on your own?
Yes.
And go on a ride?
Yeah. Usually the carousel, I play music. I don't play classical music on the carousel.
What about the Ferris wheel?
I like the Ferris wheel. Makes you wish and dream.
Can we go on it?
Sure.
Let's go on it. When I met him, he was increasingly isolated as a figure. There was none of the kind of lawyers, PR, publicists that normally surrounds a major global superstar. He was in control. It was his idea that we film in the dance studio. I knew I had to ask him certain questions that were going to be quite difficult.
I'm glad he had that hatch key, because I didn't bring one.
When you're dealing with someone like Michael Jackson, you don't
The hatch is just
you're going to film.
right there.
But if we behaved appropriately and if he liked us, then things would happen.
Use your heel, slide back.
That is not easy. That is not easy.
That's very good.
I don't know. I think
You're a very kind man.
Face.
it might be a reset here.
Have you got enough space for this?
Yeah, I do.
You've got space.
Yeah, and these people are.
Let's have a look at these ones.
They're beautiful.
Oh, that's only 275,000 each. I was getting on well with him. The filming had gone really well. He seemed to have enjoyed it. Yet I knew that for this section of the film, I'd actually had to put all of that aside and behave as if I was confronting him for the first time. I had to ask him about the allegations of child sexual abuse. I was anxious about what was going to happen when I put these difficult questions to him. But as we moved towards the end of the filming, he said, I want you to meet somebody. That's right. Who do you want to meet? He said, he's a little boy, and we've healed him of cancer. Michael then gets up and goes out and brings the child in front of us. I think what was going through his mind was, here's an example of a child that I've helped. That's what I want you to put in your film. And then Michael volunteers during the conversation that they sleep in the bed together.
Why can't you share your bed? The most loving thing to do is to share your bed with someone.
You really think that?
You cannot tell me. Look at him right now. And you cannot tell me.
We're just utter all of it, production.
But that's okay.
We can't believe what's going on in front of us. But haven't you got a spare room or a spare house here where he could have stayed?
Yeah, but no, yes, we have guest units, but whenever kids come here, they always want to stay with me.
He actually made a disclosure on camera about something that had always been queried around, that people had always suspected there's something wrong about the way he interacts. I realised that we had something that was hugely significant, but I didn't realise the extent to the bombshell until the broadcast. Michael Jackson's home Neverland is a 3,000-acre ranch 3 hours north of Los Angeles. He thought about it, and then he said, yes, come to Neverland. What do you think people would say if I said, well, I've invited some of my daughter's friends round, or my son's friends round, they're going to sleep in the bed with me tonight? That's fine. What do you think their parents would say?
If they're wacky, they would say, you can't. When you say bed, they get sexual. They make that sexual. It's not sexual. But we're going to sleep. I took them in. I put a little music on, do a little story time. I read a book. It's very sweet. Put the fireplace on, give them hot milk. We have little cookies. It's very charming. Very sweet.
Sure. I'm watching Michael on television, and there's a moment, and if you knew him like I did, you can see him suddenly calculating in his head, this is terrible.
He finally said, okay, if you love me, you can see one of it. I was like, oh, man.
You can see it. You look at that moment in Mark Fisher documentary, and you can actually pin the end of his life, to that very moment.
If you love me, you'll sleep in the bed.
Did you happen to see that documentary on Michael Jackson? He says he was devastated by it. Well, he talked about his plastic surgery and how he still invites little children to sleep in his bed.
Of course, I tuned in. My husband and I were watching Wrapped. And then I saw that boy sitting on the sofa next to him, holding Jackson's hand, putting his head on his shoulder, looking up at him dreamily. And I looked at my husband and I said, uh-oh. I thought, here we go again. It drew me right back in to a story that I had done 10 years earlier. The boy's name was Jordy Chandler. It never came to trial. Michael Jackson settled with the family for about $20 million.
I suppose the problem for many people is what happened in 1993, or what didn't happen.
It didn't happen.
Nothing ever happened. It was a mantra. Nothing ever happened. And I thought to myself,
I don't know.
I mean, it's right there. Like,
Why you didn't go to jail?
even if he never even did anything to his kids, saying things like, if you love me, you'll sleep in my bed, like making you think how to sleep in your bed.
Yeah.
That in itself is wrong.
here it was in my face again, all those years later, and I couldn't ignore it. You can't ignore it.
I just remember watching the documentary with the Jackson family, and they were shocked.
Hey babe, what's my
And Michael
taxes
called his
looking
mom
like? I got
at her whole demeanor change.
like a couple $100
Like,
on
all
one
she
of
could say
them, but I have another
they
one coming,
set him
right?
up. They set him up.
Another what?
Tax. And taxes.
Oh, you got the one? I guess.
That's the star's reaction to living with Michael Jackson.
People were thinking, oh, something's going on.
Did she say how much I owe her, or like?
She hasn't said anything.
Was determined and ready to
See, I don't like that.
Ramon Bain is Michael Jackson's spokesperson. Ms. Bain, good morning to you.
Good morning, how are you? Well, I've been very blessed because I've worked with Muhammad Ali, Boyz II Men, Serena Williams, and it was through Serena recommending me to Michael Jackson, and then I began working for Michael Jackson. I thought that the Bashir documentary was outrageous. It was a I got you kind of thing. After that, Michael was guilty until found innocent. And I asked him point blank, looking dead in his face, did you do this? And I was convinced when he told me no. Because had he told me yes, or had I thought that he was guilty of molesting children, I wouldn't have represented him. One of the things that I was concerned about, it was just uncontrollable when you are bigger than life, which he was. Nothing goes unreported. And there were some during that time to make sure everything was reported.
I got on the line to all my best sources within law enforcement to try to find out who this kid in the Bashir documentary was. They said his name is Gavin. That's all I know.
Everyone is saying, who is the kid? It's a little bit like there's blood in the water and the sharks are hungry. And we were some of those sharks. We were circling Neverland to find that kid. You've got to remember how many people are employed at Neverland. You've got people shoveling the giraffe shed. You've got fairground workers. There's so many sources there. There's so many employees. We're paying a few. It doesn't take long to get the name. The boy's surname is Arvizo. Gavin Arvizo. The difficulty, of course, is you're dealing with a child. So we're going after the family. The dad, David Arvizo, we found him. The dad was ostracized from family. So you've got a financially needy family whose head could be turned by a large check. But in case the Arvizos, they weren't selling their story. They never went for the money. There was a story to be had. We just couldn't get it.
A few years prior to the documentary, I met the Arvizo family at the Laugh Factory, and Gavin was a really funny, bright, sparkly kid. They were living in what you would call a bachelor apartment. It was one room. They had mattresses on the floor. They had sheets strung up for some privacy. Janet was a good mom. I found her to be childlike in her enthusiasm for everything. And then one day, I get a phone call from Janet, and she's screaming.
Oh my god. You got to be fucking joking me.
As soon as I could, I went down to the hospital. It was at Kaiser in Hollywood. They were going to try everything, but the likelihood was that he would die.
How close were you to being dead?
I would visit him frequently at the hospital. He lost all his hair. He couldn't eat. He was just rocking and moaning. One day, I walked into Gavin's room, and there was a specially large gift basket. It was the size of half the room. I said, "Hey, Gav, who sent you that?" And he just said, "Michael." And I said, "Michael who?" "Michael Jackson." "Okay, cool." I just sort of accepted it because we've all seen him visiting all of these sick children and needy children.
How did he beat me? I don't know how he fucking beat me.
You just see a row of kids and Michael Jackson in the center.
Michael Jackson was a modern-day Pied Piper to children. He did tell me the children coming to Neverland lifted his spirits.
A few months later, Janet called me and told me that they had been to Neverland. And she told me how wonderful Michael was, and I thought that he was dying, and why shouldn't he go enjoy Neverland? Way later, when I watched the Mark Bashir documentary, my heart sank. I just immediately thought the press is going to hound these people. I did not want them in this whirlwind. I called Janet's mom, and every number I called was disconnected. Their phones being disconnected, I found very alarming. I didn't know their whereabouts. I didn't know if they were safe.
I just had graduated college. I was very excited to work in the entertainment industry and for Michael Jackson. When I arrived in Los Angeles, I walked into a very busy house, comparable to like walking into like a busy newsroom. People running around, phones ringing off the hook. The media agencies were calling non-stop. So I walk into this damage control, and then they said, "You're going to take care of the Arvizo family." The media wanted answers after the fallout of the Bashir special. Michael graciously opened up his arms and allowed the Arvizos to come back to the ranch. So they were weathering the storm at Neverland. These photos from the ranch, I've kept them for the last 20 years. This is Gavin's mother, Janet Arvizo. She writes, "Dearest loving Michael, we appreciate you being our family. What God brings together, no man can undo. We love you." This is Star Arvizo, Gavin's brother. "I love you, my daddy, Michael. Your son, Blowhole." These are the nicknames that Michael would give these young boys. There was individuals in the media Michael's relationship with children. So the Jackson camp felt a need to hire a criminal defense attorney, Mark Garagos, to look over the legal aspects of this.
I had received a call from a gentleman who was representing Michael, and he asked if I would meet Michael in Neverland. The DNA of being a criminal defense lawyer is you're always thinking about the worst that can happen. I realize that this is not just a reputation management issue. This is potentially criminal exposure, and that is a problem. I saw that this was red meat for a prosecutor who was determined to take down Michael.
The Jackson associates decided to make a video. Janet Arvizo and family wished to be filmed, providing truthful statements regarding Michael Jackson and their relationship, and more importantly, Gavin's relationship with Michael Jackson.
Wait, you know how Bashir, you know how Bashir zoomed in on him holding hands? Do that the same thing. Because that's what a mother or a father does with a son.
And I feel that Janet in front of me, while I was watching, gave her side of the truth about her relationship with Michael Jackson that was not scripted.
When I would tell him, the doctors are saying there's no chance, Michael said, I will not have that. You bring him to me, and we will cook in the lab. He may be broken. Michael fixes.
I physically watched and believed her responses to be true, and nothing ever occurred untoward to them by Michael Jackson.
When I first met Michael, all I thought was he was a loving, kind, humble man. And all he wanted to do was good.
This video is an insurance policy should the Arvizo family make an allegation against Michael. If somebody's on the stand and they say something, you could have a snippet ready on video and show a jury. Well, you said that then, and this is now. And then that forces the witness to have to explain himself.
I believe Michael didn't trust his family, so they had a private detective watching over the Arvizo family.
I received a phone call from Janet. She was panicky and whispery, and she was saying they're listening to everything I say. I can't talk very long. She really wanted to leave Neverland, but she was being told, we're trying to keep you safe, you need to stay here. But she just felt like something was off. Janet called a good friend and said, do you know of any lawyers? He recommended a lawyer who watched the Mark Bashir documentary and said, these children need to speak to a psychologist.
The children, particularly Gavin and Star, I think really loved Michael Jackson. I think that he was very important at a time when there was chaos in their life, economic, medical, and I think both Star and Gavin looked to him for some stability. It was very shocking to me when I learned about his experiences and his familiarity with Michael Jackson. I felt like the boys were credible, and I felt there was enough information for me to reasonably suspect Gavin being the victim of child sexual abuse. And in the state of California, health professionals in general, if you have a reasonable suspicion, you must, under penalty of law, make a report to the appropriate authorities.
What up,
At
bud?
the time, I was prosecuting predominantly sex crimes. I was one of the few men who actually did that and did a lot of them.
Do a murder. I've been doing some murdering.
Against women, crimes against children. That became one of my specialties. And I got a call from the district attorney. I went down to his office and he handed me a report. And it took a moment before I finally saw the name Michael Jackson, the most recognizable person in the world. But to find out, is there a credible accusation of sexual abuse? Almost always the first thing detectives do is interview the child.
Yeah, let's do Buried City. Yeah, I need to,
How long has he been today? Well, as long as how fast you answer our questions and how you feel and all that stuff.
yeah.
He grabbed you. Where did he grab you at?
No. Well, I don't know. Maybe if you miss points, then
Were you lying in bed or were you sitting in bed?
no. Like on the last expedition, if you miss points or like, it's not like they carry you through the previous expeditions. They just like say you only get 4 out of the 5 on the last one. Yeah, exactly.
I know it's hard.
You can expect to see a child who's talking about a subject matter that's difficult to talk about. Life is so much easier if you just say nothing happened. And the questions stop. You watch kids, they just sit there and implode, not explode, implode. They sort of shrink into themselves. Their shoulders come in, their head drops down. It's as if they're trying to disappear into the floor.
What do you do next? Start masturbating. Okay. Then I told him I didn't want to do that. Did he stop? I told him he kept on doing it. I told him he kept on saying it. He wants to teach me. So I told him no.
At some point after the release of the Martin Bashir documentary, Michael Jackson was sexually abused. Gavin, that's what Gavin told us, and we believe
Me?
what I saw, I thought was a very typical interview of a
Oh
child.
yeah, Tabby's watching this thing on Michael Jackson. Yeah, it's about his relationship with the boys. Yeah. He said it's true love to have someone in your bed or something like that.
He says, yeah, there's nothing wrong with sharing your bed. Like,
I learned that Star and that he'd seen
I think
Michael
that
out
this boy should be honored to be touched by Michael.
Yeah.
You know, touch your wieners, touch your heart.
Gavin told me that he had Jesus juice playing.
You know?
Gavin
Yeah.
told me he had Jesus juice in Michael Jackson's room. When you're prosecuting a case involving a crime against a child, you rarely have witnesses to it. So we want to see if we can corroborate what Gavin had told us about what was going on in Neverland with Michael Jackson. And that included executing a search warrant on his property.
Yeah, very true.
This is a Fox News alert. A search warrant has been issued and executed by the Santa Barbara.
I really don't like this Spawn.
Babe, if they wake me up about
Investigators are
New Orleans, you know, so I go to the store, just let me know,
looking for
please.
evidence in what is being called an ongoing criminal
Okay.
investigation.
Okay. Hey, say that again?
Huh?
No, I was talking to Tabby.
If they wake me up about going to the store, you can wake me up. Or you can go.
Okay.
Okay, well, let's do our checks. You don't have a job until we secure this house.
We think that we
I
have
say we're about to run into a team
chance
here.
of being able to get a conviction on this case, then we should do it. We should not do it because he's a celebrity.
Search warrant.
Yeah, I think so. There's a spawn somewhere right around here.
Target Neverland is underway.
As many as 60 investigators are inside at this point, searching the ranch.
Yeah, but there's a spawn definitely on the bridge.
Of what was going to happen, the constant presence of the press. It never crossed our minds that would be a reason that we wouldn't prosecute Michael Jackson. We knew what it would mean nationally and even
What?
internationally.
Those investigators are still on the scene. Somebody very close to this investigation says it does involve child molestation. I was at home. All of a sudden, there's a news flash. There was a raid at Neverland. I almost dropped to the floor. I knew, apparently, that this was the Obizo family. How could they accuse Michael of molesting their child? I wholeheartedly believed in this.
He's coming this way, right?
I felt that it just didn't make logical sense that Michael would harm a child
Come on in.
after the deposition and family speaking so positively of him.
Oh my god. That's alright. That is quite alright. Oh, wait. Oh. Are there?
Where the bed is. I knew that in Jackson's interview in the documentary by Martin Bashir, he was saying these kids would want to stay in my bed.
When you say bed, you think it's sexual. They make that sexual. It's not sexual. We're going to sleep. I tuck them in. We got put a little music on. Little story time. You eat and pop milk.
Right?
Cookies. It's very charming. Very sweet.
We want to see if there was the briefcase that Gavin said existed in the bedroom that had all of the pornography in it. Yes, we found the briefcase. Yes, it was the same color. Yes, it had pornography in it.
Never really anything good in it. Well, actually, I got a KC out of that.
I stood outside Neverland for hours and hours and hours that day, watching whether or not they're going to bring Michael Jackson out. He's not there. Sheriff's office, all they have said is that this is a property search and ongoing investigation. News conference with both the DA and the sheriff.
Basis for this investigation regarding
You think we should push over there? Nope. They're coming down, looks like.
288A of the California Penal Code.
It looks like he jumped to the top of that roof, right on my ping.
Multiple counts of child molestation.
For years, pop star Michael Jackson has
Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck.
contact with children, and he has never been charged. But tonight, Jackson is wanted by police.
Jackson's being a flight risk. He's being a flight risk.
Cool.
There's always that potential, but we are actively pursuing the arrest warrant this time.
Do you know where he is right now?
No, we do not.
Ask Diane. She knows everything about Michael Jackson.
They already had this history, this knowledge, this source base, and they were calling me these sources as often as I was calling them. Every hour I was finding out more and more things, and I get some real hard facts. I came to discover that Michael Jackson was not at Neverland, but somewhere in Las Vegas.
The 45-year-old's whereabouts are a mystery. Some say he's been at the Four Seasons. Others say up the strip at the Mirage, where he reportedly owns a villa. And still others say no, he last stayed here.
Where is that?
Fact is, it seems nobody in this town knows where Michael Jackson last stayed, let alone where he is tonight.
We're outside Netherlands, we're in Vegas, we've got people stationed everywhere. And it's a bit embarrassing that actually we don't know where he is right now.
Those of us who know Michael, we think, well, I think the world of him. I just cannot
fathom this would be true. At the time, Michael wasn't.
Oh, whatever, bro. Headshot me?
Go away. Mrs. Jackson had a theory about life. If you're ducked and covered enough, the storm
Give me a second. I gotta heal.
Michael practiced that very carefully.
I find out from a source he's holed up in this villa and he only opens the door wearing a colorful dashiki moo garment, only enough to get the food brought in, and then he slams the door. And he's having wild parties. There were cigarette burns on the leather couches and chairs. There were food containers everywhere. There were empty liquor bottles on every table. And this is where Michael Jackson had been.
I don't see him either.
Entertaining young teenage boys who all spoke German. And he said after the raid,
Yep.
Michael Jackson was informed, oh my God, the cops are at Neverland again, and he left just like
We need
that.
cover, though. The only thing.
Michael Jackson remains a wanted man this morning, and everyone's waiting to see when he'll turn himself in. Jackson's spokesman says the singer will return to Santa Barbara to confront and prove that the charges are unfounded.
We have to go. The next thing I hear, Michael Jackson negotiates with the district attorney's office as to the surrender.
Do you see him?
He flew in a private jet into a hangar in Santa Barbara.
I got that one. I just flared him. Come on. He's on top of the roof.
Flew there to surrender. They put the handcuffs on him and put him in a car. That car
Oh, shit, I fell.
with audio.
That's all right. I'm going to break the snap hook out.
They did not want any false reports of police brutality.
The car is starting to pull into the Sallyport area.
Come back here. Come back here. Hit the zip. Hit the zip.
So after that 24-hour mystery about his whereabouts, Michael Jackson has now surrendered into police custody behind me. A crushing humiliation for one of the world's great entertainers. Right now, being read those charges of child molestation.
Minutes are ticking by. I'm still live on the air. I'm thinking, is he going to be booked, fingerprinted, mugshot? What happens next? And then it popped up in my monitor. And I was stunned. I'm live on the air, so
I don't see him anymore.
I thought, number one, he looks so pale. It looked ghoulish. It looked like a deer in the headlights. I almost felt sorry for him. When I saw him with his hands cuffed and then that mugshot, I realized this is not just at the allegation stage anymore. Michael Jackson is now in
I thought they were...
criminal justice system.
Where?
He's in the system. And the system was not letting him go. My sources were telling me there was going to be a criminal trial.
Passions and sexual desires of Jackson and 2 counts of administering an intoxicating agent, reportedly alcohol, and activity, child molestation.
Oh, that's way off.
Come back specifically to confront these charges head on. He is greatly outraged by considers this to be
Wow. All headshots? They've got to be shitting me with that. Okay, good.
the ingestion of substances was just astronomical. There was a time when I actually saw him in the fetal position on the floor, and I thought, what are you
Cracked one.
You don't want his death to be on your hands, and because you took some inaction. It was a horrific time for him and for those around him. And we had genuine concerns as to whether he could even withstand a trial, physically, mentally.
Michael was hearing all of these hideous.
You need my help?
And to defend him more.
Oh fuck. Oh fuck. Yep, I'm dead. I fell.
It seemed to me that there was
I'm gonna get in this building.
to try to get him.
Because they're gonna push.
It is. Catherine's not going to say it, but I will say it. It is racism.
When charges were announced against Michael, of course, the family, they were heartsick. But Michael's siblings, it was never about guilt or innocence for them. It was about legacy. They can't do this to us. They want to destroy what we built. It's what I kept hearing over and over again. We are the Jackson, the Randy Jackson would say. You know, we're royalty. We're the Black Kennedys.
My mother, my father, my sisters,
They're pinning me.
at the outpouring
Fuck.
support of the fans, both here in the United States and all around the world.
It was all about the brand. Michael Jackson, the brand. The Jacksons, the brand. We gotta protect the brand.
Thank you very much. That's all I have to say.
I remember Jermaine calling me up and says, guess what? Michael says, when the trial is over, we're gonna go on tour again. And I got to realize that that's what this was really about, for at least for Jermaine. We gotta support him because he gotta come through this. He's gotta beat these charges so they can.
Damn, I tried to set a jolt mine and they fucking. Oh god.
Our response is, here we go again. Michael has 24-hour-a-day supervision with him for the specific purpose of protecting him against these kinds of claims.
Did he want to have children around him?
Well,
Yes, he did.
I came out with a
question about
kinetic.
But to groom children for molestation? What, he was the Wicked Witch in Hansel and Gretel? How nonsensical. Michael Jackson was the biggest superstar in the history of the country and the world. Adults would get into Michael's presence and they were all on Twitter, and it was impossible for him to function. But with children, they didn't care. He was just one of the guys. And that's why he liked being with children.
I remember on the day of the arraignment, I've never seen anything like it. Michael Jackson presents himself in court, and the formal charges are read against him. I knew we were watching the potential demise of a superstar.
He knows there are two parallel battles underway. There is the legal battle underway inside that courtroom, and then there is the public relations skirmish that is also underway.
Michael had an entire army with him. A huge crowd there.
News stations, take this garbage and then report it as fact? You should be ashamed of yourself.
He's 100% innocent, and I don't think he would ever do something like this. He doesn't have a heart to do it.
We believe in his innocence, and we're supporting him all the way. We're thinking about him every minute, and we're gonna be here for him.
What do we want? What do we want now?
That's what.
Don't forget Bob Jones. Michael,
Yeah, I'm bringing her in too.
Standing next to Michael, and Bob has his back to him, and he says, I know he's gonna do something crazy. I just know he's gonna do something crazy.
I remember looking up kind of gobsmacked, and I thought he was going to start moonwalking. I was immensely impressed with the physicality of hopping onto the top of an SUV in the state or condition he was in. He's one of the greatest performers.
I had walls and everything we could have used, we could have set up, and
He said, Brian, how do guilty people leave court? I said, they kind of are embarrassed at times.
I killed 3 people in a solo game earlier. Man, I came out with fucking all kinds of shit. And then I went to Buried and set that the jump across room, set it up with jolt mines, and got a bobcat out of it.
In his own inimitable way, Michael Jackson knew how to tell the world he was innocent.
I would not be surprised if somewhere down the road, some of the people surrounding Michael Jackson might have at least the threat of charges against them, aiding, abetting, allowing children in, knowing full well what the heck might happen.
All right.
You know, we knew that Vinny was one of the people who was at Neverland and had an association with the kids when they were there. So we were interested in talking to Vinny to see if he could help us in any way in terms of what was going on with the kids.
I defended him. And I wholeheartedly believed in his innocence. One of the reasons was because of my friend Frank. Michael was like a father to Frank. Frank was a young child when he met Michael. And he grew in the ranks and he became his personal assistant. Basically anything Michael wanted, he would have to do.
Frank Tyson is thought to be one of Jackson's closest friends. They met when Tyson was just 5 years old, and he admittedly slept in Jackson's bed.
I said, Frank, you're the closest person to Michael. I said, is this true?
Never gave me enough indication that he is interested in boys or sexual attraction to boys. It's the complete opposite.
He told me no. Michael would never do this with
All right, where are we at? Where are we at? Give us a good spawn. Fucking same motherfucking shit, dude.
And I
Right?
Frank, but they were raiding other Jackson associates' houses and properties. Frank.
I said we push right this time.
Anything that came from the Neverland Ranch. And he hands me
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I took the bag, and I'm driving home, and I felt something was a little suspicious, and I said, "Let me take a look at this bag." I started taking videos to document this. I open the bag, I start looking, and I see a magazine.
I'm pretty sure somebody spawns over here. Is that on us?
Start flipping through it. And there was a sharp circles around the video ordering section. Someone wanted these videos. Start looking on these videos were children that are naked. Some with
Did it get
families,
you?
some just naked children.
Look, team.
I confronted Frank. I said, Frank, what is this? The circles are on video of naked children. He says, that's just the things that my and I went through. He showed me the videos that he wanted. I ordered them, and the things that we went through. They watched them together. When I heard that, I was in disbelief. I was very upset.
Yeah, man. Y'all came up on us.
And sitting there thinking about it.
Yeah.
Was that
All right, bro.
Frank is so close to Michael that he's covering up for him. That was a defining moment for me. That was the moment that hit me so hard where I realized
Oh, God. I'm tired of losing bobcats, bruh.
In the last few weeks, a large amount of ugly, malicious information has
Are they... You really weren't... They didn't find you? Oh my god. Lucky ass. I killed one of them. His buddy just got me. Oh, bro, you're getting out. Nice, big dog. Yeah, I downed one of them, but while I was shooting him, the other one was shooting me. Yeah. Yeah, I get it. Trust me, it's all good. Stupid comment. Run it back, G.
The trial. Michael got up at 3 or 4 in the morning. This was a big day. This was one of my biggest days, and I know Michael's biggest days. Trial proceeding, but he still was Michael. Okay, we're recording. I wasn't a fan. It takes me away from what I'm supposed to do. But it was at
I get a bunch of volcanoes too.
Yes, sir. I'm zoomed as much as I do. Inside, I was concerned.
Yeah, no, I should bring one, shouldn't I? I don't know, dude. The Renegade's just hard to beat. Hard to beat.
One of those charges, he would be going to jail for the rest of his life.
Bring what? Oh, okay. Yeah, dude, he was like, yeah, we heard y'all shooting, so we just pushed really hard.
More than 1 year after his arrest, Michael Jackson's high-profile child molestation trial has finally begun.
I walked into what looked like a circus.
I got a couple too.
There were news media tents everywhere. Satellite trucks lining streets.
We had ABC, NBC, CBS.
Yeah, I'll bring one too. Man, I always forget.
Every other person had a camera on their shoulder.
Yeah, definitely did, bro.
It's a very big story in Japan. Some estimates as many as 1,000 Jackson fans.
If you would have waited a little bit longer, they might have got you, you know? Trying to, let's see.
It was the case of the century.
This trial goes to the very heart and soul of what the American justice system is all about. It touches on race, it touches on wealth, it touches on celebrity.
They've got the lights and cameras ready. All they need now at Santa Maria Courthouse is the action.
Alrighty. Maybe we'll get a better spawn. I feel like you spawn a lot of the time same spot twice.
They're showing Michael the signs, and sometimes he's letting the window down, drawing them in.
Yeah.
He wanted protection, but the most important thing to him was his fans. We had threat assessments done that there was idiots saying that they were going to kill him.
Michael! You're innocent!
When you expose yourself to people that say they're
A bust of what?
when they can obviously do it.
Yeah, but like fentanyl, probably.
When he would see how enthused they were and how much they loved him, it was like a shot in the arm. We were escorted by police officers in uniform. We made a turn on the main street.
Damn.
Described it as controlled chaos. So my job was in communication with my guys. How's it looking? Can we disembark and
No.
make sure all the high ground was covered? No snipers.
I don't have any jolts.
When we get out of the car, we were so vulnerable.
This is it.
They're in the old room, and we can't cover everything.
I'll just buy a couple
We don't have
jolts.
anything but God protecting us at this particular point.
When he walks into court aid, they'll come face to face
All
with
right.
his nemesis, Tom Sneddon, the district attorney leading the prosecution.
Tom and I worked very well together. We really felt that if we believe
We could also, bro,
that we have an obligation to pursue it.
play open squads, me and you, and then get a third.
He was unique in his talent and skill and his
No. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like one of the next games we could.
On the other side of the court, will be Thomas Mesereau. He's likely to say that the family have a history.
I don't know how that works, honestly. Like I went into Stella with a Bobcat, and they both had a couple of good guns, so maybe it's that way. I don't know.
Tom Mesereau is the lead attorney. There is a local
All right,
attorney here,
let's
and
do
then
it.
there's Brian Oxman. Now, he's
Cool.
been in Jackson
We got that. We got the good little rat room.
Jackson family, every one of them.
I know there's a spawn back that way. And then there's a spawn just right over the yeah. But like I never see that. You know, like when we're here and we run straight for this.
I just didn't believe it. Despite Michael Jackson's enormous fame and privilege, Michael Jackson at the end of the day was still a black man being charged by a white prosecutor, and he was going to be judged by a mostly white jury.
I was juror number 8. I grew up in Detroit, in the Motor City, and I remember watching the Jackson 5 on.
Oh, was that you?
On Saturday, that was like one of my favorite cartoons.
I cracked one.
And the voice and the mood.
I was juror number 6. My 23rd birthday was the day I was selected. I felt a little excited and a lot nervous. I didn't want to be responsible for sending somebody innocent to prison, and I didn't want to be responsible for letting a pedophile walk free.
The judge made the decision that despite the enormous interest that the media and the public had, the cameras weren't allowed in the courtroom.
When Judge Melville made the decision that there would be no cameras in the courtroom, I was thrilled. Where the cameras were in the courtroom, what happens is people start throwing the case to the cameras, not to the judge, not to the jury. It begins to affect your decisions. Well, I mean, prosecution and defense. It's just the human response to knowing you're going to be on the 6 o'clock news.
He was real.
Michael was scared to death. We were beside ourselves.
We believe he was a criminal in a very profound way.
Watch out for that nade.
He was able to get away with it because he had the power.
I don't think we can get out. Like pushing up, trying to climb the ladder.
No. Michael Jackson is a kind, wonderful man who loves children. It's all been misconstrued, and people who say
That fucking thing's on you, bro.
just after the money.
It was entertaining that this family began to come up with these allegations only when they realized that they were on the way out. They needed to do something else to stay involved in his life and get a big payday, and this is what they came up with.
Based on opening statements in Michael Jackson's trial, the pop star is either a sexual predator, according to the prosecution, or the target
Get up on the roof. I'm gonna get up on the roof.
according to the defense.
Tom Mesereau.
Oh boys. Oh rat-a-tats.
To our job.
That's easier said than done.
Meow.
I turned around. I said, how do you moonwalk? He said, what do you mean, how do you moonwalk? He said, you just moonwalk. I said, that's just how you have to approach this.
What if
Do is be you. Be there. We'll handle this.
family? You're the one that shot at us first, you dingleberry.
This is the man whose documentary has sparked this entire criminal trial.
Today, the British journalist Martin Bashir, who made the controversial documentary Living with Michael Jackson, is expected to take the stand, the first prosecution witness to give evidence in this trial.
Well, come on out then. Let's see that dog. Oh. Let's. I'm sure you do. In the safety.
In the courtroom,
I tell you what, you open this back door and we will.
It was pretty clammy, that hand. So I knew that he was nervous. The prosecution.
Hey, don't shoot.
Bashir documentary in its entirety.
8 months ago, I put a proposal to Michael Jackson.
Nobody's picking. You shot us first.
But show me everything. Make nothing off limits.
And I think the prosecution wanted to show the eccentricities of Michael Jackson.
Do you come out here on your own? Yeah. How often? All the time. Just coming on your own? Yeah. The problem was, because there were so many clips of music, you could see that the jury kind of enjoying the film because it was fabulous and the music was the music of Michael Jackson.
Alright, let's just stop making noise. Act like we're gone.
I looked around and all the people in the courtroom and the jury and the judge and everybody's just like kind of bobbing their heads up and down.
They're literally swaying in their seats.
I remember me moving in time to his music. At one point, Tom grabbed me and said, would you stop moving your foot?
Seeing him sitting there while they're playing his music was neat.
I thought, wow, they really love this guy.
But when it came to that scene with Gavin, the court was very quiet.
There was one night I stood in there, y'all asked him if I could stay in the bedroom. Hey, let me stay in the bedroom. And I was like, Michael, you can sleep on the bed. If you love me, you can sleep on the bed. I was like, oh, man.
Michael Jackson was holding hands with Gavin, talking about his cancer. Gavin puts his head on his shoulders. You know, jurors are allowed to take notes. And during the Bashir documentary, I didn't notice any jurors taking any notes at all. They were just enthralled with the show.
The prosecution strategy from the outset was that if they showed...
They just smoked themselves.
It would unsettle them when people hear that children from other families have come and they've stayed in your house, they've stayed in your bedroom.
Well, very few.
But no, some have. And they say,
I don't know. They just smoke. They gas themselves. I'm sorry, gas themselves.
I feel sorry for them because as judging someone who's wants to really help people.
Then after that, I was brought into the witness box and questioned.
Tom Mesereau said, you always went in thinking you were going to get a big scoop and make a big sensational splash, right? That was the tone of Tom Mesereau talking to Martin Bashir.
After the viewing, there followed tense exchanges between Bashir and Jackson's lawyer, Thomas Mesereau.
Yep. I got this other window.
Martin Bashir and his intentions from the get-go.
When you actually invite children into your bed, you never know what's going to happen.
When you say bed, you think it's sexual. They make that sexual. It's not sexual.
What do you think people would say if I said, well, I've invited some of my daughter's friends round?
Yeah. No shit. They're gonna fucking have to come out.
The TV journalist refused to answer most of the questions put to him.
At one stage, Bashir told the court, "I want to stand by the film."
He's peeking. He's peeking hard. He's peeking hard.
I was briefed by
Yeah. No.
how to respond to many questions.
I wouldn't. Just let's let them like peek and peek until they, because they're getting restless.
What I said to every question that I was asked.
Mark Bashir was a disaster for the prosecution. He wouldn't even answer basic questions about the work he had done.
No, that's me. Come on. He zipped or he
Very evasive, I think, to the jury.
I got him. One's still inside.
Things like that and share a room with them? No. But I thought Martin Bashir was trying to trap Michael Jackson.
His friend's coming up from where?
Something wrong to kind of make things out that weren't there.
So he's going out front? Oh. That was I think he went around the back, like the way we went. You know the because I seen a what you call it following him. No, I downed him up on the roof. Yeah.
On the drive back to Neverland, he referred to
But his buddy, I don't know where he went. I think he. Yeah.
Because it's like, this is what started it. He's all a part of this conspiracy. They're trying to kill me.
He died with a snap hook on him.
I'm not supposed to be really focusing on your conversation. I'm supposed to be doing.
No, I think he went around, dude, like this way.
This is the first guy. You went to these other.
Yeah, so he came out. Yeah, you come out to the hatch, and then I seen a fucking. I seen a. Either a surveyor or something following him around this way.
We need your cooperation. If you're not cooperating and we can't
Yeah.
do this in an orderly fashion,
Here.
then we won't do it.
He had some ammo here.
No later than about 5:30.
Anvil 1. He had an Anvil 4 and an Anvil 1 on him. And then I got, some
In the actual courtroom that day.
Anybody who wants to have a picture ID before
oh fuck.
In January,
Oh my god.
from my preschool teaching job, and I would be moving to Santa Maria for the Michael trial. And that's exactly what I did.
Let's go.
A lot of people don't realize
I say we both jump across.
it is actual action. As fans and advocates and people of love, soldiers of love, in your lowest point, here we are.
724, 674, 826.
Yes! The media had decided.
Oh yeah, he had to have,
He was going to jail. That was their angle. So I knew the media wasn't going to cover it. Transcripts wasn't going to allow you to really.
Oh my god. I made attachments for my Renegade and didn't even put them on.
In the courtroom and hearing it for yourself firsthand.
Poor guy died with his snap hook out of his butt.
Jackson arrived at the courthouse.
You know what? Like, honestly, I don't think anybody's going to come in here.
It's the two brothers.
I mean, it's possible.
That's at the crux of the prosecution case. Gavin Arvizo, the alleged victim, and his younger brother.
Very true, very true.
These are the two most critical witnesses of the entire trial because that's what it's all about. Did he or did he not?
Oh, he snap hooked out of here. Out of the front door.
The prosecution took Starr through what happened at Neverland. And Starr said, well, Michael Jackson took us aside and said.
Yeah, right up on the roof where I was.
And they did. And the parents gave permission.
And then he tried to crouch and I got all headshots on him.
Starr said they were shown a laptop computer with many porn sites on it. Now, Starr Treviso, 14 years old, doesn't know the word grooming, but the prosecution made it clear these were the steps of grooming these boys.
Yeah, I feel like he might have went to that hatch. There's a hatch past the train.
It's an older Tudor style home.
Like you get around the train and there's a hatch right behind the building. He might have went that way.
It's a combination lock. The kids knew the combination.
Because I seen either a surveyor or a comet following him, or it was just rolling and it was aggroed.
And in the loft was a king-size bed. Above the bed was a painting. The painting was a depiction.
I hear some gunshots.
But the Christ figure in the middle was not Christ. It was Michael Jackson.
Starr said once in the bedroom, the pornography was brought out. Jackson always said, don't tell anybody. When you feel like you're in the company of someone otherworldly almost, and they tell you to keep the secret, you keep the secret.
From the master bathroom, 3 books of nudes in a plastic bag, a couples magazine, a book of nude photos of men, and from the den and a second-floor closet, a book of nudes called Naked as a Jaybird, and several porno magazines in a black briefcase.
There was one particular publication that I thought was noteworthy, and it's a publication that was titled Barely Legal. And it depicted nude, young-looking women. They looked like the girls these boys would go to school with. And if this was designed to groom children, and it was, then it would be effective in sexualizing children by showing them what they would find to be intriguing. Starr testified that he was.
I did hear somebody on the building on top, but I don't hear him now.
Michael Jackson doing something that was suspicious with Gavin, and Gavin appeared to be completely out of it, either asleep or possibly unconscious.
It was bombshell. I mean, pornography, liquor, acts of molestation.
This witness is huge. If the defense cannot shake up this witness or have him recant on the major issues, I think this is a big part of the case.
Oh my God. Talk about devastating testimony for a child. What do you do with that?
Yeah.
The child says that. Very plainly, very clear. That's what his testimony was. What do you do?
In California, defense attorneys in the Michael Jackson molestation trial will try to discredit a key witness later today.
The 14-year-old brother of Michael Jackson's accuser is set to return to the witness stand today for cross-examination.
When the prosecution was questioning him, Starr did a really good job describing all the pornography that they saw on the computer and in the magazines. On cross-examination, Tom Messer,
Hopefully there's nobody in the building here. Where'd that shot come from?
Barely Legal. And he said, is this the one you saw? And Starr said, yes, that's the one Michael Jackson showed us.
Oh my God, that was dumb.
Is this the magazine that Michael showed you? He got him to say point blank, yes, it is the magazine. Then he uncovered the date, and that magazine was at a date where they had long past left Neverland.
Look at the magazine on top, says Mesereau. It's dated August 2003, long after your family left Neverland for good.
It seems it couldn't have been the actual magazine, but I think more important were the inconsistencies about exactly what he saw. On different occasions, he described what he saw quite differently.
Hopefully they don't see me and they just go right down the zip so I can pepper them as they're jumping on the zip.
So the question is, didn't that go off?
Starr goes up those
Or
stairs, but in order to get those stairs,
maybe
you
let
go through a door.
one
The
go
door
down
smells. And then you go
and
down the stairs, you
me
have to
take
go
out the
up.
other.
Don't you think Michael Jackson would have heard that and stopped what he was doing and rolled over and pretending he was asleep? Everyone in the courtrooms were just like, oh my God.
Unless somebody's seen us come down here.
That just totally show how much you're lying, and you're willing to just keep lying even though somebody is asking you over and over again. I remember Tom Mesereau calling Michael to the side, just right there in the courtroom, and we could see them just chatting a little bit. And then Tom Mesereau came back and say, "This, beyond a shadow of a doubt, had
What was
proven
that?
Michael innocent." He was a total master of his game, Tom Mesereau.
I'm sorry, I'm under gag order. Hearing some of the things the prosecution said really got to me. But in this country, that you're innocent until they're proven guilty. So the prosecution had to prove to me that he did this.
My sources are telling me that after this young boy testifies, his brother, the accuser, will be on the stand. I mean, this is what the case is all about. It comes down
Yeah.
to what this boy says occurred to him.
Gavin Arvizo is now 15. It's his story that will make or break this case, and he will have his day in court.
Between 2 and 3, I get a call from Michael, and he told me, "Kid, come up to my room. I need help." And he said, I fell and I hurt
I feel like
myself."
it's getting further away.
He said he had a cut on his face, shirt was disheveled, and he had on some pajamas. Like what happened? He told me he slipped in the shower.
Yeah, that sounds like it's getting
Let's
closer.
go to the hospital. So I took him to the hospital.
Yeah.
They injected him with something, a sedative or whatever. But Michael would just keep talking, saying that he was in pain and he couldn't sleep. I went out and I said, "Mr. Jackson would like some more pain medication. It's not working." They came in and they gave him something else. 45 minutes later, he's still not going to sleep. It's, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning. He says, "Carrie, go tell him I need something else. It's not working." So I go tell him he needs something else. And the doctor comes in and says, "I can't give him nothing else. I've given him enough to tranquilize an elephant."
His accuser once called Jackson the coolest guy in the world. Today, the 15-year-old will be on the stand face-to-face with a world-renowned pop star.
Will the jury believe the story told by the young teenager who's accusing Jackson of molesting him? It's that simple. If they don't believe, Jackson walks. If they do believe,
That's me
goes to jail.
making that noise.
This is the first full day of testimony of Gavin Arvizo. We all get into the courtroom 8:30 like we're supposed to, and there's no Michael Jackson.
Turns out the self-proclaimed king of pop is in a town of Solvang, in a small 22-bed hospital, seeking treatment for a, quote, serious back problem.
He's still in a lot of pain.
Oh, yep. Got somebody on a roof.
Will you call the judge? Because now somebody should be in. That's how late it had gotten.
Tom Mesereau stood up and he said to the judge, well, Your Honor,
Hopefully he's about to get bobcatted.
And the judge didn't hesitate. He said,
Bobcatted.
"There's a warrant for his arrest in 1 hour if he isn't here. You get him here right now. The bond will
Yep,
be
yep,
revoked,
yep,
and I will
yep. Here he
approve his
comes.
arrest." It's the only time I ever saw Tom Mesereau flustered.
What he told me was virtually impossible. I got to go back to Neverland and then drive, 45 minutes to Santa Maria Court. And I'm like, this is a setup. But I just said, "We got to go, Michael."
With a national audience watching and his very freedom on the line, Jackson must hurry. It's a 37-mile journey, a 45-minute drive.
Coming down the
That's
zip.
Circumstances. As the Jackson entourage speeds down the 101, exceeding 90 miles an hour, Jackson's attorney nervously paces outside. He
Oh, what the
checks
fuck
his
is he
cell phone.
doing?
8:49.
Coming down the zip.
9:14.
Is he
9:20.
zipping?
9:29. It's clear to all who are watching the clock.
Oh, he's on a roof
it's going
somewhere.
to be close.
Michael was terrified, upset, beside himself. He thought that his whole life was evaporating.
Can you imagine your client not showing up and there's mess
Fuck.
on the barbecue?
thought he was going to come down.
An hour went by, and there's no Michael Jackson.
Oh, well, he's in sand. He's in
They were
sand.
told that 2 reporters, a print person and a television person, could go out and watch the arrival, and I was one of them.
We show up to court, and I'm looking at Mazaro, and he's got like, what the heck? What? What is this?
It has to be the most shambolic public appearance Michael Jackson has ever made. The usually immaculately groomed star shuffled into court in pajamas and slippers. He was disorientated, dishevelled, and over an hour late.
He was almost being carried by his assistants, as if he's the most feeble person in the world, right? All a show. All a show.
Michael played the victim better than anybody I've ever seen. It was time to distract from Gavin's testimony, but also to say, see, I'm the victim here. I'm injured. They're dragging me into court in my pajamas. I'm the victim.
Do you want me to let the first one come all the way down without shooting him?
It was master manipulation.
Or what? What do you think? Because we got 2 to worry about. We don't know when. We don't know what the second one's gonna do when he starts hearing. We want them both to come down. So if they can both come down before we, I don't know.
Like a zombie, walked down the aisle very slowly, took his seat, and slumped down.
Very true. The sooner we can. Oh my God! I did not mean to do that, bro. Oh my God.
Build up to the moment when Gavin, the supposed victim, would finally be on the stand.
Fuck. I cannot believe.
We just knew it had to be bad because we're here, right? When he was finally there in person, the thing that struck me was, wow, he's just a kid. What we saw, I thought, was a child who had experienced sexual abuse. But you also saw
Yeah, we just want to get you some loot, bro. You know?
and very honest. I was hoping that a jury would come to see that.
There's nothing better than looting a body after you killed it.
The court, and it says the boy looks frequently at Michael Jackson
Yeah.
with a steely gaze. The boy described how Jackson asked him, "Do you masturbate?" And he said, "I felt uncomfortable with this conversation." During the encounter, he was masturbated by Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson comforted him after the act.
At a minimum, what the prosecutor wants from Gavin's testimony are the following.
You hear
Michael
something?
Jackson spent time with him intimately and
You just hear that gunshot.
That was yes. The prosecutor, like Gavin Murphy's, to acknowledge that in his statement. He said that Michael Jackson molested him twice at the Neverland.
Oh, what was that?
They also got the fact that Michael Jackson gave him what he says Michael Jackson called Jesus juice. That was alcohol. That was important because part of the prosecution's narrative
Maybe.
is that Michael Jackson
Yeah.
used alcohol to dull the senses, to remove the inhibitions of Gavin.
This is a pretty compelling witness, this young man, and he was extremely detailed about all the things that happened. There were love notes that Michael Jackson gave to him.
I know.
They were in bed together constantly. They slept together many, many nights together, and also with the brother. So this is a lot of specific detail that the defense is going to have to overcome and say that it's all made up.
I think for such a young kid, he held
They might just try to kill the leaper.
I tried to be open and feel for this kid that possibly was molested. He was asked, "Do you miss being his friend?" And Gavin goes, "Yes, I do."
Yeah.
That kind of tore my heart out because looking at Gavin, and I knew he was sincere about that.
I just remember Michael's head falling down like this, and he was just like devastated by this kid's.
They're not even gonna know what hit him.
After the
I don't know,
trials
man. We got
started, I
1
would go
minute
over there and
left.
visit the Arvizos. They were pretty secluded. The kids were not in school. They had maybe a 6-month period where they really didn't leave their house at all. They were being
Oh,
stalked and followed by reporters and fans and all sorts of unsavory elements that were potentially dangerous. So I would just go over and just sit and talk with them. Gavin was getting more and more in his head, and a lot of it had to do with him believing that he would have no life after this. Those were the words he used.
We are not affiliated with Michael Jackson or his people. Okay? You're law enforcement officers.
Gavin was a very sparkly, outgoing, mischievous, sneaky individual with a smile for everyone. And his personality dramatically changed not by cancer or real chemotherapy, but by his time with Michael Jackson. I just saw it in his demeanor.
ah, damn, he's still up there, bro. He's still up there.
Examination on Gavin Arvizo. And I made a note here in my notes that Mr. Mesereau started off by calling him Mr. Arvizo, and Gavin shot.
Yeah,
Yes,
go for it.
and I wrote down, oh boy, the gloves are off.
Messer was literally screaming at Gavin. For the first half hour, you could hear him down the street. He was screaming so loudly, I thought it was a vicious cross-examination.
Tom Mesereau came in like gangbusters and started to try to rip up this boy's story. And he's very clear. This boy was feisty and with each other.
He downed me. I don't know. I can't see. Come on in. Come on in. Oh, no.
Who's already scared to death, and who's already
Now what?
terrified at the thought that they're being accused of being a liar and a manipulator.
Are you going to die?
By this prominent attorney standing in front of them, screaming at them, in front of a room full of people, being asked intimate questions about whether their penis was touched.
Come on. Get to the hatch. Get to the hatch. Get to the hatch. You got this. Oh, no.
Or even a private setting. Then you understand how harrowing that can be for a child. And for jurors who don't understand the phenomenon,
I'm so sorry, dude.
misbehaving child.
I couldn't tell the difference between you and him. And then there was smoke everywhere. Are you done? Okay, buddy. Sorry. All right, later. Yeah, we got him. I just want you to get some loot, bro. All right, man. Later.
Appeared to come out of nowhere, and I don't think that he came across as the kind of credible witness that you would have expected your star witness if you're the prosecutor.
On his direct examination, Gavin talked about how Michael Jackson told him, you must masturbate because otherwise you'll grow up to be a man that rapes women. That's a pretty stunning thing to tell a child. But that's what he testified to. On cross-examination, Tom Mesereau said, wait a minute, there's this statement, Gavin, that you made to the sheriff's department a while back, and you said your grandmother told you exactly the same thing. So who was it? Was it your grandmother or was it Michael Jackson? Were you lying then or are you lying now? These are the types of traps that Mesereau got these children in.
Gavin Arvizo indicated very clearly that Michael Jackson had molested him, he touched him inappropriately, but at the same time, he admitted that he still admired Michael Jackson. He still wanted to hang out at Neverland Ranch. He wanted to go back to Neverland Ranch.
Gavin Arvizo was angry at Michael Jackson because he wanted him out of his life. I never believed he was angry at him because he was molested.
No more matching. No more flying on airplanes. No more having the time of your life. You have been thrown out of Eden.
He's a kid. I I wanted to make sure that I listened to what he was saying. But then when Mr. Mesereau gets up and then he puts it all in order, it's like, oh, definitely that does make more sense.
Tom Mesereau brought out the inconsistencies. He walked Gavin through the evidence. He pulled the thread of those inconsistencies until the garment fully came apart. I don't think there's any doubt, now that Gavin has left the stand, that the defense is ahead. In fact, the star witness for the prosecutor now appears to be the star witness for the defense.
What did it feel watching the accuser testify? Was it making your accused?
Sorry, I can't speak this.
Okay.
Are you hurting right now, Michael?
We put him in the car, and it was kind of silent. And then you hear him beat on the like. How could you do that to a person? How could you do that? Meaning, how could Gavin accuse him of these egregious acts?
Despite the fact that the prosecution's case was so weak, we were all like pummeled by his testimony. The image that Michael had created for himself, that he'd been working on since he was 8 years old, was just shattered.
There was a lot being said among the press corps about, well, the Arvizos were really discredited. This case is over. Dismal as it looked for the prosecution at that point, what most people didn't know was they had some real cards up their sleeve still to play.
Why would a man who has children, who has a job, who does well in his community, all of a sudden decide to molest a child? That just doesn't make sense. Well, if you've got other kids who come forward and say, you did this mistake, now you have somebody who clearly has a propensity for doing it. And so if we can get other kids to come in, or adults who are abused as children, and say, yes, give it to me, it's overwhelming evidence.
The defense in the Michael Jackson trial suffered this setback because the judge said he will allow the prosecution to present evidence that Jackson has been accused of molesting children before, and that he's ready to settle two of the cases.
The allowance of prior bad acts by the judge.
You're gonna love what I got, man. So great.
Just in your stomach, it made the prosecution feel we can get him.
Where'd you go, Dingleberry?
The judge ruled that under California law, jurors could hear about bold, unproven molestation allegations involving 5 boys.
It's one thing to say that one family is out to get Michael Jackson. Now they have to come into court and say that many families are. They all have the same story and they're all in it for money. And that's a tough sell with the jury.
Now, this looked like a serial predator. These people were bringing him down.
This is now a trial about pattern evidence, about propensity, and once a pedophile, always a pedophile.
Mr. Jackson, came back here after the lunch break. Did anything occur over the lunch break that would affect your ability to recall or retain information?
No.
Are you familiar with a person named Joe Chandler?
No, I don't mind that. Don't ask. I'm not gonna get into who he knows and doesn't know. If you want to ask a question, go ahead and ask it, but I believe it's beyond the scope of this couple of glass in the case.
Michael Jackson is sitting there smiling. Of course he knows Johnny Chandler.
Is it your position that you will instruct Mr. Jackson not to answer any questions that pertain to the issue of Jory Chandler in any way?
This was the first allegation of abuse against Michael Jackson. The Chandler case took place about 10 years prior to the case involving Gavin. I wanted the jury to understand that this guy's done this before. I wanted to bring in that evidence to show that he has a propensity to commit sex crimes. It could change the outcome of this case.
Jackson jury to hear past trial sex claims.
This is a critical ruling.
Where there's smoke, there's fire.
It's very compelling evidence, and every time I have done that on a child molest case, I've won. Neverland, this fantasy island that he created was a huge piece of property with multitudes of staff. I believe some of the cleaning staff, the senior staff, the secretaries, the security people knew what was going on. I am convinced some of them are complicit. How could they not have known? They knew when to stay away and where to stay away. They understood that, as long as you work here, don't dare ever think about even mentioning what goes on here to anybody. There will be hell to pay if you do. We wanted the jury to know what they saw.
The Michael Jackson trial is back in session today. Jurors continue to hear testimony about past molestation allegations against the self-proclaimed King of Pop.
Former employees are going to come and testify that for years, Michael Jackson lured young boys to Neverland and sexually molested them. It could be a real game changer.
Each day we're going to hear disturbing details of what people claim that they saw.
Michael Jackson knew what they had seen. I had interviewed former employees of his. They all talked about misbehavior between Michael and young boys.
None of them came forward until we got them to. Get into court, you have to answer questions.
I'll just read out of my notebook. Ralph Chacon, he was a security guard at Neverland. One night on his patrol by the shower area by the swimming pool, George Michael and Jody Chandler, both naked, I saw that Mr. Jackson was caressing the boy's hair and caressing his face, and Michael Jackson performing oral sex on the boy. Blanca Francia, a former maid, talks about finding Wade Robson in the shower with Michael Jackson.
Testimony just keeps on coming. Another ex-employee took the stand.
A former chef from Neverland named Philip Lamarck. He testifies that Michael Jackson was playing the Thriller video game with the movie star Macaulay Culkin. And Michael Jackson's left hand was inside the pants of the kid. Question: why didn't you go to the police? Quote, no one believed me.
There wasn't a one of them who was able to say that Michael Jackson,
I will.
to their knowledge, ever had.
Yeah.
Yes, in his room overnight.
Are they like ready to go?
It was no choice. It was
What time did you tell them?
Many members of the press started to
Waiting for who?
this is a bigger subject than we thought
Oh.
the Arvizo family. According to witnesses, there was the Home Alone kid, Macaulay Culkin, Wade Robson, Brett Barnes, and Jordan Chandler.
It was like this pattern of prepubescent boys. It's almost like a conveyor belt. They come in young, they get old, they get off the other side.
Jim, bring me up to date,
Might
friend.
be here, I don't know. Other children who Jackson allegedly groomed and inappropriately touched is very well.
Yeah.
Sure.
It did make me kind of stop and think, wow, what if they're the same thing that's been going on with Gavin, the same MO?
5 boys, but only one of them is going to testify, correct?
4 of the boys, Jordan Chandler, Brett Barnes, Wade Robson, and Macaulay Culkin, none of them would talk to us. We were down to 1. Blanca Francia was one of the maids. She had a son, adolescent son named Jason, now an adult, who was cooperative, and he did testify for us.
You know, when he first walked in, I noticed that Michael Jackson looked at him and then snapped his head around and he just looked forward.
Jason Francie, youth pastor, then about 8, 9, 10 years old. 3 times he said he was abused by Michael Jackson. Question, did his hands make contact with your genitalia? Yes, over the clothes. How long was his hand there? 2 cartoons worth.
What's up, guys?
Well, it was very moving. I had interviewed his mother about these incidents back in 1993. And here, years later, her son is telling me exactly the same thing. It really got to me. His testimony really got to me.
There's witness after witness that say Jackson has a pattern and practice of molesting children. And I'll tell you, the jury's going to look to that and they're going to have a difficult time saying that Jackson is not a pedophile in this case. The prosecution, they said, we got him. We have a serial pedophile. Well, what a bunch of junk that was. The people who testified, Francia, Chacon, McManus, Lamarck, former employees who were angry. They had an axe to grind. And we were going to prove it. Jackson's lead attorney, Tom Mesereau,
Hey,
attacked ferociously.
did you grab the mail?
Skillfully took
Was anything in there for Jess?
No, she already asked me. I already told her.
Oh.
She told me out there looking too.
Some of these people were paid money by the media for their stories.
Yep.
The housekeeper reportedly sold her story to hard copy for $20,000.
He had something on every
I
single
told her
one.
that.
You got
Huh?
I told her that.
Okay.
The fact of the matter is, back in the 90s, tabloid television paid people. I mean, everybody knows that. Now having their reputation battered in court, he was masterful.
Yeah.
I mean, he used the facts and a tone of voice that made
I'm
the
sorry.
jury think, oh boy, these people can't be believed.
Yeah, you know, in my opinion, money hungry.
We don't need anything, do we?
Wanted Michael Jackson's money, no matter how he get it.
They can be cross-examined effectively. They put on witnesses.
Oh, you just said you were gonna go get
Every one of these prosecution witnesses has their own little axe to grind.
what's it called? Detergent.
I already got it. You don't want the dogs, remember?
Oh, that's right.
And he says they're all crooks and liars. You have to buy that all these 10 people are willing to risk perjury, defamation.
But they made a pretty strong case here.
All about credibility and not about physical evidence. All of this is hanging in the air for the jury to consider.
I think the prosecution needs to pull something really big out of the bag.
As terrible as it looked at that point for the prosecution, what they did next, I thought, was brilliant. What better person to bring to the stand than the mother of Jordy Chandler, the little boy who got millions and millions of dollars to shut up. And so June Chandler came to the stand.
When we discovered that June Chandler was going to take the stand, there was pandemonium, okay? It came back to haunt us.
To understand how significant it was for the mother of Jordy Chandler to take the stand, you have to go back 10 years earlier with this notebook right here. Book number 1 of my notes on Michael Jackson. This is the original story that we broke back in 1993.
America is in shock tonight over the scandal surrounding pop star Michael Jackson.
Mary, I don't want to overstate anything. I try to be a careful reporter, but we can very well be watching the downfall of a superstar.
Sources in Los Angeles say a 13-year-old boy's claim of sexual abuse led to the criminal probe of Michael Jackson.
It's the LAPD's sexually exploited child unit of their juvenile division that is handling this case.
When we first interviewed the victim, it was at his father's home. His parents were divorced. The allegations were he had a sexual relationship with Michael Jackson. The victim became very detailed. One of the allegations was that they would shower together. He drew specific details of Mr. Jackson's body. He drew a picture of Mr. Jackson's private part, and specifically his penis, stating that Mr. Jackson had markings on his penis. Because of the details that he was giving to me and to the other officers in the room, there was absolutely no way that he can make this up.
The Jackson lawyers had to guarantee that Michael would submit to a police strip search so cops could see if various parts of Jackson's body matched up with the descriptions.
The body warrant was served to photograph Michael Jackson. Mr. Jackson was hysterical at the time, yelling, screaming, yelling at his attorneys, how are you allowing this to happen?
They served a search warrant on me which allowed them to view and photograph my body, including my penis, my breasts, my lower torso, thighs, and any other area that they wanted to.
This is the first time the world has seen Michael Jackson deny the allegations of sexual abuse. In a message carried on live television from his Santa Barbara ranch, he emotionally described undergoing a recent body search by investigators.
It was the most humiliating ordeal of my life.
From what I understand, some detectives were able to corroborate the sketch actually matched the photographs and the markings that Michael Jackson had on his body. We knew that we had a good case, but the victim did not want to pursue the criminal case.
The young boy who was the catalyst for this investigation has recently informed us that he does not wish to participate, that we must decline prosecution involving Mr. Jackson.
I was in disbelief. We don't have a victim. We don't have anybody else who's willing to come forward. We don't have a case.
The settlement is in, and Jackson's young accuser is now California's newest millionaire.
Michael Jackson understood what this kid was capable of doing to him. That $23 million was to keep Michael Jackson out of prison.
I did say to him, but that's gotta be the end, Mike. You can never be seen around kids again, ever.
Hello? Hey.
The mother of the 1993 alleged victim is the 51st witness to testify for the prosecution.
June Chandler
is
is a highly credible witness. This is the first time the jury's going to hear the truth about what happened with her son. Everything short of the actual description of molestation, everything else could come from her.
June Chandler's testimony was riveting. She said she and her son and small daughter traveled the world with Michael Jackson. It was a whirlwind existence.
Okay, let me see. What?
June Chandler testified.
What's the number?
It was the end of March 1993 that family, why won't you let Jordan be with me? And she said, he is with you. But why not in my bedroom? We're family. Jordan
You're lucky.
why can't he sleep in my bed? There's nothing wrong.
Fucking didn't
There's
see.
nothing going on. Don't you
Who was
trust
that?
me? And in the end, she did allow him to sleep with Jackson, and from that point on, he always
Fucking Kettle 4.
MJ spent the night more than 30 times in her Santa Monica house. Where did they stay? In my son's bedroom. Question, is there more than one bed in that room? No.
I need to be moved ASAP. I no longer feel safe around cold. If possible, I know there's a bed over in Avalon.
You couldn't get it out of
Okay,
your
it's
mind.
probably
This
Lillian
woman
because her
got talked into
partner's
letting
name
her
is
son
Cole.
sleep with Michael Jackson.
All I have on
He was 12 years old.
Jackson gave her a very expensive Cartier bracelet made from then on every time Jackson and Jordan were together.
I know,
they
I'm
shared
looking,
a
I'm
bed.
just saying. It's that her Lillian's number is 708
And then she
368
told the jury that she hadn't seen her son in 11 years. You got the impression that June Chandler realized she had done something wrong.
Yeah.
She had allowed access to her son that she now regretted. I know she was 30,
I can see that in your face when you talk about Jordy.
They were not able to resume a kind of a normal mother-son relationship after that.
I mean, I don't think it'll be permanent anyway, so.
But I think Jordan blamed her for not protecting him from this abusive relationship. It wasn't mother should have been.
Okay.
You get diamonds, I get abused. That's their understanding.
It was heartbreaking and infuriating at the same time. I just remember sitting in the room watching her on the stand. I just thought, this woman perhaps gave a death blow to Michael. I'm thinking the jury is going to send him to prison.
It did make me kind of stop and think, wow, knowing that Michael Jackson paid off this family makes you wonder, is he guilty?
There'll be no comment. There'll be no comment.
Patterns was so close to the current case, the jury could really believe Jackson had a way
What
of
they
going about
say, they want to go to the store? No.
They're in their room. It's just Laura and Ken wanting to go, right? And here I went. I took Brooke and Jess 2 days ago to the Walmart. I don't like having to take people 8 different store runs a week.
I'll take it because.
No, it's fine.
Well, I said that I would, but like,
The prosecutors,
she hasn't said anything, so.
mother of the accuser, Governor Visa, could not be more important, pivotal witness. She was going to testify that she had been kidnapped, the family had been held against her will, and then Michael Jackson had molested her son.
Janet was a very complicated woman. 3 kids when she was very young, lived in a state of poverty. They had a 1-room studio apartment, married to a man who was violent and abusive, and had an effect on how she viewed the world. Insecure and conflicted and emotionally traumatized. And that's how she presented.
Emotional testimony revolved around the charge that Jackson falsely imprisoned her and her 3 children.
On the stand, Janet talked about being surrounded by the Jackson team after the Martin Bashir documentary. They said, we gotta hide you at Neverland so the media can't get you. So she did anything they told her.
We discovered fairly early in the case the video that depicted the entire Arvizo family proclaiming their praise for Michael Jackson and how much he's done for their family.
He plays with them, he laughs with them, he lets them win.
At the time that that video was made, Janet had no awareness at all that there was anything going on that was unseemly, anything that was wrong, anything that was criminal. She still believed that Michael Jackson was the family savior.
Every door closed on us, and Michael said, all my doors are open. My home is your home, and your children. I am the life of their father, and me, he calls me family.
Michael Jackson telling her that they are now family, that he has a special relationship not just with her son, but with her as well, and that he could be counted upon. Those are the types of things that the June Chandler testified to as well. But every prosecutor who deals with sex crimes learns quickly. A pattern of behavior is repeated over a period of time. And we believe there's a grooming process that extends beyond the child. It includes the family of the child. Pretty consistently with all of these kids that Michael Jackson was involved with, there was no father figure. That was the case with Jordan. I mean, there was a divorce. It was the case with Gavin. Michael Jackson telling him, I am the father now. I will take care of you, and I will love you. You will be cared for, you will be attended to. You have to believe that I have only your best interests at heart. Now let's go to bed.
From the very beginning, things did not make sense about this family. Michael Jackson, he couldn't understand, why are they doing this to me? Everybody has a past. So when it came to our visas, who are these people? Michael told you that's your job, Brian. Your job is to find out what really happened here. I need to find every skeleton in their closet, dirt on their shoes. You gotta sniff it out. Did a search, court records. Bingo. There's a case against J.C. Penney's by the Arvizos. Gavin Arvizu went in and stole clothing, and the security guard saw him and caught him. Janet Arvizu sees what's happening, and a melee ensued, a fight. They did not get charged with shoplifting. Instead, Janet Arvizu filed a lawsuit against J.C. Penney's, saying that the security guard supposedly molested Janet Arvizu in the parking lot. Wait a minute, they've done this before. This is the same M.O. I found out there was $152,000 paid to them in a settlement agreement. And I said, they've got all this money. What are they doing on welfare? They were scam artists. They knew how to do it. I found the smoking gun. But was it enough?
Today at the Michael Jackson trial, Jackson's attorney begins cross-examining his accuser's mother.
Now the defense came into play.
Michael, are you looking forward to the cross-examination of this witness?
Tom Mesereau's cross-examination, it was surgical, never explosive, but devastating. He flipped the narrative. He made the Arvizos the aggressors, the predators, and Michael Jackson the prey.
The welfare fraud was so powerful, it resulted in her claiming the Fifth Amendment.
He allowed Janet Arvizo to effectively hang herself. There was a palpable reaction in the courtroom.
It did bother me. To me, it was just farce. You know, she just was out for money. Out for money.
At every opportunity, the defense absolutely excoriated her. The whole notion that there are family of grifters looking for a quick buck is nonsense.
There was high drama in the courtroom of the Michael Jackson child molestation trial.
She witnessed Jackson licking her son's face, and she actually did a reenactment of that, which must have been incredibly bizarre.
She shouted, quote, "Neverland is all about booze, pornography, and sex with boys."
She was rambling. She was incoherent. She was emotional.
She was on the stand several days in a row. Every day, she appeared as a different person. Once very meek, and then the next day very mad, and then the next day very sad. You just never knew what you were going to get with Janet Arvizo.
All I know is sitting, 6 feet away from her, it's going to be true. You're talking my shoes, don't you judge me, talking about being kidnapped in a hot air balloon.
I called her Janet from another planet, sorry, but you know, I mean, that's just how she acted.
It's a normal reaction for a mother who realizes that their child has been exposed to harm. And she was somebody who psychologically didn't have the ability to deal with it. I'm not sure I would have the ability to deal with it. I had a fairly normal upbringing.
Today, we went from Neverland to Fantasyland.
This witness was a disaster. She was the worst possible witness you could have imagined for a prosecutor. It was an extraordinarily pivotal moment in the case. She was, at the end of the day, what the defense needed, and that was walking, talking, reasonable doubt. I think it was a really important moment for Michael Jackson. The case was going very well for him.
Michael, are you pleased with the way the cross-examination is done?
It's just fine.
Michael was real excited and jubilant, as a matter of fact. It made it a good day. I cherish those days, the good days, because most of the times were extremely stressful. Throughout the trial, he was deteriorating mentally and physically, because he was just paralyzed with fear and anxiety. At times you would see him just in thought, and I'd see tears come down
because it was destroying him.
The key prosecution witness is expected to testify. Jackson's ex-wife.
The singer's ex-wife, the mother of two of his children, set to take the witness stand.
Just knowing that Debbie Rowe is on the prosecution's side, that was problematic.
Debbie, Michael Jackson's ex-wife. Now she's gonna be a witness. I'm thinking, man, what's gonna happen?
Debbie Rowe gives Michael Jackson what he's always wanted.
I
his
know
own
that.
children.
The
Not
girl
one, but two.
also the
And
neighbor
she
need to go to the
agrees for him
store.
to be part of the children's life. She gave up her parental rights.
Okay.
So that the children were all his. But she changed her mind.
Rowe is locked in a custody battle with Jackson over their children and is reportedly upset because the singer has now paid alimony for more than a year.
She told the prosecution she hadn't seen her children in 2.5 years because Jackson wouldn't let her, and she called him a sociopath. What a coup for the prosecution to get Debbie Rowe.
The night before, I was at a steak joint where we always ate every prosecution and their
You're a rat fucking bastard, man.
she's being very animated and what she was saying, but I knew it wasn't good.
Sparks could fly later today in the Michael Jackson child molestation trial with the singer's ex-wife.
At this point, we had a battle. We had to pull out all the stops. Debbie Rowe, she had information that was relevant, critical of him and what he did with children. Now, could we get her to deliver that information in a way that was effective and was received well by a jury? But she didn't demonstrate any hesitancy in doing so.
Could be potentially devastating for this defense. I think she's going to be given instant credibility because of who she is and what she may know.
Debbie Rowe was going to appear as a prosecution witness was a heart-stopping event. Randy, Jermaine, LaToya, Mr. Jackson, everyone in the defense talk about people with blood draining from their face and their heart. People were going to believe she had the inside story.
There she is, Debbie Rowe, right? And she looks at Michael, he looks at her. And there was a moment when I saw her flip.
Something happens in a courtroom that it overcomes people and their emotions come out, and her emotions came out. Michael, I think the world of you, and she said so.
What she testified to and what she told us were two very different things. If I was expecting her to say something along the line of, I was very concerned about his behavior and his association with children, she certainly didn't say that on the witness stand. There's a limit to what you can do to neutralize something like that. You just have to live with it.
It was pretty devastating. The prosecution cut her testimony short. They realized she's flipped. She's not going to tell us what she told us behind closed doors.
Michael, who was numb the whole time,
They said they can wait till
just
tomorrow.
looked at me. Okay, that's my Debbie. I love her too.
Debbie
Rowe was
Yeah.
touted as the
Cool.
prosecution's
Do I talk to you?
bombshell witness, but she appears to have
What are the
explained
boxes?
in their faces.
Narcan.
Jesus, Narcan lady.
Debbie Rowe took this long, beseeching look. "Okay, would you please?" He, as I recall, just kept his head down.
The moment she got in the courtroom, took the witness stand, took one look at Jackson, she melted like an ice cube.
Did she still love him? Is that why she did it? One theory. If she would testify favorably for Michael Jackson, there was this backdoor agreement that he would let her see her children. I don't think anybody really knows except Debbie Rowe.
Michael, was it good to see Debbie again?
What would you like to see Debbie?
The one person who has a right to hate Michael Jackson doesn't. What does that say about Michael Jackson?
How could they put this witness on the stand? How could they not know what she was going to testify to?
It's bad. It's especially back to so late in the case. You know, the defense is about to begin. You want to start strong and end strong.
Well, this is both
The end of the prosecution case and the end of the prosecution case.
45 days and 85 witnesses later, the prosecution in the Michael Jackson case rested.
The prosecution made so many mistakes. Martin Bashir being one of them. Heavy row. Oh my goodness. But we were still in trouble. Public opinion. Very important. 70% said he was guilty. Oh man, we were getting killed. Since when do that number of Americans agree on anything? Could we move that needle back where it belonged on the defense side?
I can't wait till it's over. If I have to stand in his pajamas again, I don't know if I'm gonna get through it.
Supposed to present to get started. Let's meet our panel again and go to your calls.
Hi, Larry.
Go ahead.
Do you think it's a good Michael get on the stand?
If I were defending him, absolutely not.
Thank you.
After 10 weeks of taking pot shots at the state's case, the defense kicks off.
Now it's the defense's turn. The defense had this big master plan, polish up Michael Jackson's reputation. So who do they call? Wade Robson. They called Brett Barnes, who the prosecution said that Michael Jackson groomed and sexually molested. But guess
I'm
what?
gonna turn that
They
down
also called
tidbit.
the movie star.
Are you gonna drink
Macaulay
that
Culkin.
Capri Sun?
The Home Alone kid always said things.
Yeah. I'll drink the Capri Sun. Capri Sun! What up, fellas? What y'all working with? Free kits? Oh man.
The jury looked like they were a little starstruck. There was the Home Alone kid right there, feet away from them, swearing to tell the truth and nothing but the truth.
He asked this jury to believe him. If you trust me, Home Alone star told
Alright, we want to stick together? Where we want to go? You lead the way, Mr. Sleepy.
And it was a moment between two megastars.
Come on, Sidious.
And the two of them just sort of shared a moment with each other.
Categorically denied that Michael Jackson never molested him and ever inappropriately touched him.
Culkin called the allegations absolutely ridiculous.
The second defense witness, Brett Barnes, said the same thing. Choreographer Wade Robson told jurors he first met Jackson at age 5 and shared a bed with him more than 20 times until he was 14.
Wade says no. He never did anything that was even remotely associated with these accusations.
Wade was very convinced.
Yeah, we're across the way, buddy.
Me feel like he was telling me the truth. It's really hard to kind of lie to somebody when you look directly at him. You kind of look away or look, distracted. But he didn't do any of that.
It was a trio of home runs for Tom Mescal.
I got your back, homie. I'm right here.
All three of those young men.
Yeah, get that, get that, get that. Y'all, one of y'all need guns. Y'all both working with pharaohs.
Yes, and nothing bad ever happened. No, nothing bad ever happened. I was harking back to 1993 when Wade Robson as a 9-year-old and Brett Barnes as a 9 or 10-year-old were brought out by Team Jackson.
Right, you slept in the same bed?
Yeah, but I was on one side fishing and the other. So just yeah, there's been different times when there's been the entire it's just somebody.
Years later, in bed with Michael Jackson.
He's weak. He's so weak. Nice, guys.
How much stronger can you get with that? You have to wonder why the prosecution brought these 3 cases up to begin with.
What we had to overcome was something that was almost devastating.
There's
to the jury out of the Wade Robson perspective. We had a witness who saw that he was being abused by Michael Jackson. He insisted he was
Heal up too.
That's very difficult evidence to overcome. Right now, it's my task to cross-examine.
I was inside the courtroom. At one point, the prosecution was so frustrated on how well he was doing for the defense, he leaned on the podium, like out of frustration, like, we can't break you. And he said, you know, maybe he did these things to you and you were asleep. The audience just gasped because it was like, you're that desperate?
It was hard to
Mr. Sleepy, you want to wait on Sidious?
hard to convince a jury when the subject of the act itself says it didn't happen. I had decided that the most effective way to be able to deal with that was to simply do a presentation of some of the materials, sexually graphic material that we have seized from Michael Jackson's home.
2 books introduced by the prosecution. One of them is Boys Will Be Boys, and one I'm going to cover up the cover photo called simply The Boy Photographic Essay. In these books, you will see naked boys sprawled on rocks, boys eating bananas, naked boys touching each other. And suddenly, you saw Ray Robson Doucette stock still in the witness chair, slumped down. His whole demeanor changed, and you could see these books affected him. And I had to wonder, had Michael Jackson shown him these books?
Ron Zone and the prosecutor did an absolutely magnificent job of taking this witness and turning him to his own witness.
My goal was to make this jury as uneasy as possible. I want the jury to sit there and think, I sure wouldn't want my child in bed with a man who found this kind of material too fascinating or enticing.
It was hit by a 2x4 in the stomach. It was only about 2 hours of testimony, but it was tremendously powerful, Nancy.
Was it enough? Well, that was up to the jury.
For the next 2 weeks, Tom and Israel took the jury through every piece of evidence that was critical, every witness. They took 50 witnesses.
There's some ridiculous aspects to this trial that the witnesses blew them out even more. The defense rests.
Michael Jackson admits to sleeping with children, but is the 46-year-old molester? It is now up to a jury in Santa Maria, California, to answer that question.
After more than 3 months of testimony, the jury in the Michael Jackson child molestation trial began deliberating the case on Friday.
I was nervous. It was almost kind of equal of people thinking he was guilty, people thinking he was innocent. What has to be proven is beyond any doubt that happened.
GG's.
David, in the deliberation of 3 days, the longer it goes on, it could mean
Sorry, guys.
locked on some issues.
Emotions were high. There was yelling and crying and screaming. The people outside could hear us. All over the world, everybody was watching. The media was all up in it. That's a lot of pressure.
Something that is resonating through the African American community right now. They do not believe that Michael Jackson is being treated fairly.
Michael Jackson, in front of a jury of mostly white conservative sentiments, was probably going to be found guilty. Go back to the mugshot.
You trying to run it back?
Go back to dancing on the roof of an SUV.
There are 10 counts against Michael Jackson.
Go back to all of the charges.
I think for the prosecutors, the key is looking at the big picture, saying there's a pattern here. This is not just about this boy. This is the MO.
I need to bring more ammo.
Facing the odds were against him.
The jurors,
I ran out of ammo or I killed that dude.
they have to reach a verdict, and I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. This is a pretty complicated case. Day after day after day, more and more of the fans would gather. parking lot.
What came out of his mouth about sleeping with boys? What came out of his mouth? Yeah, well, I don't know what kind of kids you raised.
You're going to hell, possibly with Michael Jackson.
I won't use the word anxious. I will use the word prayerful. We have faith in the jury. We're going to let them handle it.
Sooner or later, somebody has to come out of that room with some kind of an imagining.
We had the bailiff tell the judge, you know, we're at a standstill. What are we supposed to do? The judge says, no, anything, no, Mr. Out.
Ready when you are, buddy.
We're gonna work it out.
The heart of this case is, do you believe the boys making these accusations? Do you believe this mother that they were all confined at the Neverland home?
It's the biggest story of the century, so we got to cover this. What we want to know is, where's Gavin? We are basically on Gavin. He doesn't know we're there. It's long lens work. On the face of it, it's just a picture of Gavin and his brother Sal buying some snacks. It looked like it was going to be movie night. And as they're leaving the store, you start seeing them look up at the TV mounted on the ceiling.
Breaking news, jury in Santa Maria has sent word that it has reached a verdict.
There's a verdict in the Jackson case. This is how he saw it. We were there at that moment. It's not a happy picture. He looks scared. They jump on their bikes and they pedal home as fast as they can.
There is a verdict. I'm told there is a verdict. All right. So it is now official that at 1:30.
Are you trying to run it back or no? Okay. All right. Cool. Let me ready up.
Michael Jackson case.
Everybody was like, whoa.
I guess I am ready up.
A jury of 12 men and women. If one of them expresses reasonable doubt on any one of the charges, he is acquitted.
The sheriff said, I just want to let you know that when your friend is found guilty, we're going to rush his ass out of that courtroom so fast that your head's gonna spin. And I'm like, this guy knows something I don't know. Like, Michael Jackson's gonna be found guilty.
The jury verdict is to be read when he arrives at the courthouse. His motorcade, as you see from this helicopter shot live.
Michael's life hinged on what these jurors are gonna say. And he's like just in shock. I found a scripture in the Bible, Isaiah 41.
You don't have a mic?
This to his mother, Catherine, and I told her to read this. So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. All who rage against you will surely be ashamed and disgraced. For I am the Lord your God, who takes hold of your right hand and says to you, do not fear, I will help you.
Same spawn. What up, dude? Head straight across. Go to lobby.
This is taking me back. This is taking me back to that very moment.
Michael Jackson is a few moments away from hearing his fate.
It's been over 60 days of evidence, of testimony, of late to the court moments.
In the next 50 minutes or so.
Live outside.
The jury will release its judgment.
You see there Michael Jackson's team arriving here at the courthouse.
Uh-oh. We've lost Mr. Sleepy. You okay, buddy? Yeah. Door, yeah. Think kitchen or
I just remember seeing his face. I just like wow.
yeah, I just heard a shield.
It's slow walk. It's almost like a death march, you know. Blank looks on his face. No emotion.
Yeah, I think they're right here.
It's almost like he's a zombie, just existing.
A live audio feed which the judge agreed to, and we will be hearing it all at the same time.
The jury is making their way into the jury room. Diane Diamond, row 1. Every muscle in my body was tense because after all these months, finally, it's going to be over.
Whether you support him
Where?
All lawyers standing up. Michael Jackson standing up. What is on my screen there?
We're all in listening mode here. First, audio we hear from inside that courthouse. The microphone's on.
The people of the state of California defendant can't find verdict. You, the jury, the above entitled case, find the defendant not guilty of conspiracy as charged in count 1 of
Fuck.
Michael Jackson is now free.
Count 10 verdict. Not guilty of providing alcoholic beverages.
Nom, 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 nom.
Not guilty of all counts.
Michael's vindicated, acquitted. I told you so. Michael Jackson was forced to get him for crimes he didn't commit. I was proven in my court of law today.
Damn it.
I mean, they're roaring out there. You could hear it.
Yeah, GG's, buddy.
I lost it. I couldn't stop crying because it was just so emotional.
I remember tears. I'm jubilant but can't physically give any more. Pass out. I end up on the stretcher. At the end of the day, Michael was always innocent and he is loved.
It was tough. Not guilty. It doesn't say innocent. It says not guilty of the charges brought against him. I did come away at the end thinking that the state had kind of blown it. I think the state made the case so complicated by adding the conspiracy counts.
Defense attorney Tom Mesereau said, if you have reasonable doubt about this family accusing Jackson, you must acquit, and they did.
If there are ever two words you never want to hear, it's not guilty. It's the worst moment you could have as a professional prosecutor to ever hear not guilty. But it is what happened, and we're professionals. And it's not guilty. The jury has spoken. That's it. We're done.
I'm looking at Michael Jackson. He didn't look excited or happy. He turned to Tom Mesereau like, what happened? And Tom Mesereau had to whisper in his ear like, hey, you know, we won.
I turned around and looked, and Michael Jackson looked right at me. And he went, bowed his head down to me. I'm like, just doing my job.
I went over to Michael. Congratulations, Mike. You know, you did it. And he kind of looked right through me.
What a trial this was for him. Moments of total humiliation, total anguish, embarrassment, physical pain. This isn't exactly a day you want to just, throw your hat up and have a party.
We put him in the car, and it was relatively quiet. I saw him lean back like this and exhale, and I think it kind of set in that, wow, I am done. I am going home. I'm a free man.
I had this idealized, romanticized notion. Now he's going to get his life back. The one person who disabused me of that notion was his manager, Frank Leo. He turned to me and he said, you don't get it. And I said, what? He said, this is life ruining for Michael. He will never recover from this. That just hit me hard, I was like, oh my God, he's right. Michael, he knew that there were a lot of people who felt that he was guilty, no matter what the verdict was.
The key core part of the case is the testimony of the boy, his younger brother, and the mother. And clearly the jurors, all 12 of them, rejected the testimony.
The main thing that Gavin kept repeating is that they didn't believe me. Why didn't they believe me? That's how he is. He felt like he had failed. Why didn't they believe me?
Above entitled case, find the defendant not guilty of conspiracy.
People continue to question, was he guilty? guilty. While this was a trial clearly about Michael Jackson and molestation charges, the trial was also a trial about America's, maybe the world's, most fragile obsession.
Michael Jackson has set the music world on its ear.
The album is still #1 after 57 weeks on the charts.
Our obsession with fame, celebrity, and status balanced against suspicion of our icon.
He's a little weird.
And all of those things came colliding together in this trial.
Most well-known and controversial people in the world is in the fight of his life.
Rumors fueled by a tabloid frenzy and obsession.
Every time we watch a tabloid show, every time we read a tabloid magazine, that was the kerosene placed onto this slowly burning embers of Michael Jackson. And we had to make a value judgment. What do we believe? And what don't we believe? And in the end, it left us looking in the mirror, and I'm not sure that we liked what we saw.
What's going on?
This is Sid. He was at the football game today. He's part of the small gang.
Oh, no? I'll tell you you're working with.
How do you know him?
He's a cousin.
I'm also a cop.
Mr. Kilton is trying to move on, to close this dark chapter. I'm ready for this to be over. No more murder.
Hey, Sarge.
Hey! What's going on?
It's my brother. Jamie's missing.
Welcome to season 2 of Good Girls Guide to Murder. The disappearance of Jamie Reynolds. James giving evidence in Max's trial. And then he goes missing 2 days before the trial starts. All this has to be connected somehow.
What evidence do you have, Pip? Physical work? It's fine.
Trust me, jury will see who you really are.
Any sign of him yet?
It's just like he vanished into thin air. Split up.
Should actually just stick together. Yeah, good idea. What was the need?
Someone knows what happened to Jamie, and they're trying to warn me off.
Not everything's a conspiracy, Pip.
I can't be that person again. I help the people I care about.
So you can step close along the way.
Stop pushing people away. You're not on your own on this.
Police don't find someone after 72 hours. They start looking for a body.
I think you're right.
Well, what?
Not sexist.
And you start asking questions, but sometimes you get answers you didn't want to find. It's life or death.
I'm running out of time! Go ahead! Help me!
Global VCs are ruling the world, and in Dubai they made it real.
I am Satish Senpal. I am the billionaire
पैर छूती है रोज सुबह तो बहुत लक्ष्मी आती है उनको ऐसा लगता है I have 40 kilos of gold. Can you believe it?
If you have a money, पैसा बोलता है. मैं ब्यूटी को सोच ही नहीं जानता हूँ. लोग बोलते हैं मिस्टर गोल्डन वीजा के नाम से जानते हैं.
It was a lot of struggle, but I've reached the mark to be a millionaire. अभी जो है वो इंडी बुकिंग क्योंकि नहीं समझ में आती तो बहुत अच्छा हमारे लिए. Let me.
Pamela Serena कौन है? I'm a complete diva. क्या खाने लगा है? क्या है? Of course, babe. Wow. दो sisters आप जानते हो उनका skin clinic है. Lady and Alize.
Looking at you, I mean, I'd really recommend either Instagram as well for the Korean glass skin facial, which is amazing.
I have noticed you've been called plastic. Plastic is fantastic.
I'm the group managing director of Daniel. It's a 33-year-old company started by my father.
मतलब ये हिंदुस्तान का बच्चा है, आज उसने दुबई में कंपनी बनाई है और थर्ड
Sorry, babe.
बन गया है दुबई.
You're fine.
हमारे friends celebrities हैं.
We don't go to Bollywood. We bring Bollywood to us. Desi community. Cheese from Kuwaiti. Oh, we love it.
Maybe our current life का एक नया chapter है. We are moving to Dubai.
यहाँ कुछ नहीं है हमारे. हमको सब कुछ बनाना है.
I'm really nervous.
If you think you don't fit in the circle, you don't have to be friends with us.
If you have an issue with me,
at the store.
Will I tell him what? What?
Nothing.
You just making shit up?
Alright. I tried to grab a can opener at the store. They do not have a can opener at the store. I looked for a can opener. They do not have any